This is Frank Goss with SGTV. Though called Old Spanish Days, Santa Barbara's annual celebration is better known as Fiesta. In preparation for this year's event, Sullivan Goss spent 2 years hunting the land for great Fiesta paintings. We had a few in our inventory, one of them an international treasure, Jesus Helguera's La Bamba, painted in 1941. But we wanted to be much more inclusive. Santa Barbara's event calls from the traditions of Spain and Mexico, but the artistic contributions come from artists of many backgrounds. One of our artists was born in Japan, one in Germany, Helguera from Spain. 4 of our most treasured women painters are included in this exhibit. From the 1880s, Mary Stevens. From the early 1900s, Mary Danielle Morgan. From 1936, this delightful Orpha Klinker. And from 2006, our very own Angela Perco's Paean to Ancient Cultures. Though perhaps painted in Spain, this tender yet very powerful portrait of 2 gypsy women by J. Barry Green seems to speak to the traditions of Santa Barbara's fiesta culture. California missions added some fiesta flavor, like this early photo of the Carmel Mission, or this 1890s view of the Capistrano Mission by the great Garner Simons, and even the subtle moonlight view of the mission at San Antonio de Padua by Charles Harmon, which was finished before the famous 1906 quake. A few of these painters found their way to Santa Barbara. Midwesterner Dan Lutz, who late in life came to Montecito, left us these 2 delightful still life pieces, one of a melon dorado and another of pears in a molcajete. He studied and painted in Mexico, but in his later years, he moved to our dear city. Richmond Kelsey taught in Santa Barbara in the 1930s and went on to be the art director of Disney Studios from 1938 to 1950. We wanted a sample of post-war work, and were lucky to locate this challenging portrait by Gene Swiggett. One of the most romantic Santa Barbara artists was W.H.D. Kerner, a major New York illustrator in the 20s and 30s. We have these 2 quintessential fiesta pieces. One, a couple resting with fiesta revelers in the background. The other, probably painted on Santa Barbara's Riviera near his home, depicting a lover's courtship. Kerner came to Santa Barbara in the teens. Undoubtedly, he was a participant in the early fiesta events of the 1920s. The crowning discovery of our 2-year search for fiesta paintings was locating a collection of the work of Theodore Jackman, a wonderful Spanish genre portraitist who trained at the Art Institute in Chicago and later in Paris. He came to Los Angeles in 1914 and subsequently opened a studio in Laguna Beach. We have 2 of his portraits, which for all appearances are the king and queen of fiesta, but even more spectacular are his fiesta scenes. To those of us who love fiesta, it is an 8-day event that captures food, wine, costume, music, and dance. Here, 2 señoritas appear to flirt with a handsome caballero. The final painting would be our idealized fiesta moment. Wine, a basket of apples, music, and of course, sizzling dance.